Honeydew, textbook in English for Class 8. Page 36. Unit 3. Glimpses of the Past. Before you read, here are some pictorial glimpses of the history of our country from 1757 to 1857. These pictures and speech bubbles will help clarify your understanding of the conditions that led to the event known as the First War of Independence in 1857. 1. The Martyrs. At a function in Delhi. "O my countrymen, let your eyes fill with tears as you recall the sacrifices of India's martyrs." Page 37. 2. The Company's Conquests from 1757 to 1849. With its superior weapons, the British East India Company was extending its power in 18th century India. Here is a picture of India in 1765. We can see the Indian princes and we can see the British territory marked in pink. Indian princes were short-sighted. Here's a scene from a court. "That upstart Rajaba, call the English merchants. They will help me to defeat him." The people had no peace due to such constant fights. The rivalries helped the East India Company, and it could easily subdue Indian princes one by one. A far-seeing ruler like the brave Tipu of Mysore fought the British till he died fighting. How did Indians react to these conquests? Here's a typical everyday conversation. "Thank God, there is peace in the country now. No more wars and no looting by thugs." "It is God who sent the British." "Our destiny is linked with them." "The white man has killed or dethroned our kings." "Some kings were not good, but after all, they were of this land." "Now we have become slaves of foreigners." Page 38. 3. British rule from 1765 to 1836. Religious leaders preached ideas like untouchability and child marriage. "Anyone who crosses the seas loses his religion." "All the misery in the world is due to women." The truth was that Indians had lost self-respect. The British scorned them. "The natives are unworthy of trust, incapable of honesty." "True, Your Honour, but I am honest." Being merchants, the British wanted quick profits. Their heavy taxes forced farmers to abandon their fields. "You are still in arrears. If you don't pay next week, I will send you to jail." "But your men are taking all my crop." Still, the British invented other methods which gave them more profits. The goods manufactured in England should not have any import duty when brought into India. A good idea. The East India Company's laws began to cripple Indian industries. Inevitably, famines followed. Between 1822 and 1836, 15 lakh Indians died of starvation. The British policies ruined the expert artisans and their business. Page 39. 4. Ram Mohan Roy, from 1772 to 1833. Ram Mohan Roy, a learned man from Bengal, understood what was wrong with the country. Let us not despise ourselves. Our ancient culture is great, and we are capable of greater achievements. We must first reform our society. Superstitions have been ruining us. He told his wife Uma, "Cows are of different colors, but the color of their milk is the same. Different teachers have different opinions, but the essence of every religion is the same." He was attracted by science and modern knowledge. Knowledge should be practical and scientific. He started newspapers, but the suspicious British stopped them in 1823. He crossed the seas and went to England to see what made the British powerful. There he told them, "We accept you as rulers, and you must accept us as subjects. But you must remember the responsibility a ruler owes to his subjects." Page 40. 5. Oppression, from 1765 to 1835. But the British continued to oppress Indians. In 1818, they had passed Regulation 3. Under it, an Indian could be jailed without trial in a court. All the time, British officers in India drew big salaries and also made fortunes in private business. By 1829, Britain was exporting British goods worth 7 crore rupees to India. The British prospered on the company's loot, while Indian industries began to die. Governor-General Bentinck reported back home, "The bones of cotton weavers are bleaching the plains of India." Page 41. 6. Dissatisfaction, from 1835 to 1856. Education in India was in Persian and Sanskrit. In 1835, an Englishman named Macaulay suggested a change. "We should teach the natives through the English language." I agree. English education produced clerks, to whom the British gave petty jobs under them. Incidentally, it also produced a new generation of intellectuals. We must educate our brothers and try to improve their material conditions. For that, we must convey our grievances to the British Parliament. By 1856, the British had conquered the whole of India. They cared little about the needs of Indians. Here's a typical village conversation. "Our kings have become puppets, and we have lost our old jobs. And lands. They are converting our brothers. You only talk. Do something to drive them out." Page 42. 7. The Sparks, from 1855 to 1857. Taxes continued to ruin the peasants. In Bengal, the Santhals, who had lost their lands under new land rules, became desperate. In 1855, they rose in rebellion and massacred Europeans and their supporters alike. Discontent was brewing in the East India Company's army too. "The white soldier gets huge pay, mansions to live in, servants. while we get a pittance and slow promotions. The Angrez asks us to cross the sea, which is against our religion. Who is the Topiwala to abolish our age-old customs? We must drive out the Angrez. Sepoy Mangal Pandey attacked the adjutant of his regiment and was executed. Thousands of other sepoys revolted. They were stripped of their uniforms, humiliated, and put in irons. Few Englishmen had cared to understand Indian customs or the people's mind. There were lots of talks going among the people. "Oh, proud Brahmin soldiers, do you know that the grease on the bullet you have to bite is made from the fat of cows and pigs?" "What? The white man has deceived us too." Soon, chapatis were sent from village to village to tell the people that their emperor would want their services. "Yes, all my village men will be ready." Similarly, lotus flowers circulated among Indian soldiers. "Death to the foreigner!" The masses gave all help and shelter to the patriots. Page 43. 8. Revolt. 1857. Then there was a violent outbreak at Meerut. The sepoys marched to Delhi. "Long live our Emperor Bahadur Shah!" The rebellion spread wider. Many landlords had lost their lands because of the British policies, and they were sore. "The white man's rule must end." "Yes, we will help you." Page 44. 9. The fight for freedom. 1857. Many former rulers like Begum Hazrat Mahal of Lucknow were bitter. "The white man has taken away my kingdom." They joined the upsurge against the foreigner. Popular leaders like Maulvi Ahmadullah of Faizabad told the people, "Rise, brothers, rise! The Angrez is ruining our land." The people rose everywhere, in Bareilly, Kanpur, and Allahabad. Azimullah Khan told Tatya Tope, "We should have Peshwa Nana Sahib as our leader in this war of independence." The patriots pounced upon the British and fought pitched battles all over North India. 80-year-old Kunwar Singh of Bihar received a bullet in his wrist. "Mother Ganga, this is my last offering to you." From Our Freedom Movement by S. D. Savant. Page 45. Comprehension check. 1. Look at picture 1 and recall the opening lines of the original song in Hindi. Who is the singer? Who else do you see in this picture? 2. In picture 2, what do you understand by the company's superior weapons? 3. Who is an artisan? Why do you think the artisans suffered? See picture 3. 4. Which picture, according to you, reveals the first sparks of the fire of revolt? Working with the text. Answer the following questions. 1. Do you think the Indian princes were short-sighted in their approach to the events of 1757? 2. How did the East India Company subdue the Indian princes? 3. Quote the words used by Ram Mohan Roy to say that every religion teaches the same principles. 4. In what ways did the British officers exploit Indians? 5. Name these people. 1. The ruler who fought pitched battles against the British and died fighting. 2. The person who wanted to reform the society. 3. The person who recommended the introduction of English education in India. 4. 2 popular leaders who led the revolt. Choices may vary. 6. Mention the following. 1. 2 examples of social practices prevailing then. 2. 2 oppressive policies of the British. 3. 2 ways in which common people suffered. 4. 4 reasons for the discontent that led to the 1857 War of Independence. Working with language. In comics, what the characters speak is put in bubbles. This is direct narration. When we report what the characters speak, we use the method of indirect narration. Page 46. Study these examples. First farmer. Why are your men taking away the entire crop? Second farmer. Your men have taken away everything. Officer. You are still in arrears. If you don't pay tax next week, I'll send you to jail. The first farmer asked the officer why his men were taking away the entire crop. The second farmer said that their men had taken away everything. The officer replied that they were still in arrears and warned them that if they did not pay tax the following week, he, that is, the officer, would send them, that is, the farmers, to jail. 1. Change the following sentences into indirect speech. 1. First man, we must educate our brothers. Second man, and try to improve their material conditions. Third man, for that we must convey our grievances to the British Parliament. The first man said that dash. The second man added that dash. The third man suggested that dash. 2. First soldier. The white soldier gets huge pay, mansions and servants. Second soldier. We get a pittance and slow promotions. Third soldier. Who are the British to abolish our customs? The first soldier said that dash. The second soldier remarked that dash. The third soldier asked dash. Speaking and writing. 1. Play act the role of farmers who have grievances against the policies of the government. Rewrite their speech bubbles in dialogue form first. Page 47. 2. Look at the pictures. Here we see a picture where Fox accidentally falls into a well. Here is a picture where she's saying, "How do I get out of here?" And here's a picture where a goat is asking her, "Hello, is this water sweet?" Page 48. Here's a picture in which the fox replies, "Too sweet. I've had so much, I might faint." Here's a picture where the goat says, "Let me taste it." Here's a picture where the fox tells the goat, "Thanks for the help. Come out when you can." And here's a picture where the goat is thinking to herself, "My mother used to say, be careful how you take the advice of people you don't know." 1. Ask one another questions about the pictures. Where is the fox? What is the fox thinking? What does she want to know? What happens next? Where is the fox now? How did it happen? Who is the visitor? What is the fox's reply? Where is the goat? What is the goat thinking? 2. Write the story in your own words. Give it a title. Here's a space for you. Page 49. Read the following news item. History becomes fun at this school. Mumbai. Students in the 6th grade of a certain school in Navi Mumbai love their history lessons thanks to a novel teaching aid. It is not surprising given the fact that their study material includes comic books and they use their textbooks for reference to put things into perspective. Besides, students are encouraged to tap other sources of information as well. During history classes, students pore over comic strips of historical periods, enact characters of emperors and tyrants, and have animated discussions on the subject. History has become fun. In the class, students are asked to read the comic strip aloud, after which they break up into groups of 4, discuss what they have heard, and write a summary. Each group leader reads his group's summary aloud, and the whole class jumps into discussion and debate, adding points, disagreeing, and qualifying points of view. A 6th grade student says, "It's a lot of fun because everyone gets a chance to express themselves and the summary takes everyone's ideas into account." According to the school principal, the comic strip format and visuals appeal to students. A historian feels that using comics in schools is a great idea. Comics and acting help students understand what characters in the story are actually thinking. Adapted from The Times of India, New Delhi, October 2007. Based on this news item, write a paragraph on what you think about this new method of teaching history. 4. Find the chapters in your history book that correspond to the episodes and events described in this comic. Note how the information contained in a few chapters of history has been condensed to a few pages with the help of pictures and speech bubbles. 5. Create a comic of your own using this story. Once the sun and the wind began to quarrel, each one saying that he was stronger than the other. At last they decided to test each other's strength. A man with a cloak around his shoulders was passing by. The wind boasted, "Using my strength, I can make that man take off the cloak." The sun agreed. The wind blew hard. The man felt so cold that he clasped his cloak round his body as tightly as possible. Now it was the turn of the sun, which shone very hot indeed. The man felt so hot that he at once removed the cloak from his body. Seeing the man taking off the cloak, the wind conceded defeat.
Honeydew. You were just listening to this audiobook.
Honeydew. Textbook in English for Class 8. Page 50. Macavity, the mystery cat. Do you have a pet cat? Have you ever noticed anything mysterious about it? It is not easy to say whether every cat is a mystery, but Macavity is one for sure. What is it that makes him a perfect mystery cat? Read the poem and find out. Macavity's a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity's not there. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity's not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, McCavity is not there. McCavity is a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. Page 51. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side, with movements like a snake. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. Page 51. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side, with movements like a snake. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. For he's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by-street, you may see him in the square. But when a crime's discovered, then McCavity's not there. By T.S. Eliot. Glossary. Defy, disobey or resist openly. Scotland Yard, the headquarters of the London Police Force. Flying squad, a group of police or soldiers ready to move into action quickly. Levitation, floating in the air without support. Fiend, devil. Feline, of or relating to a cat. Depravity, moral corruption. Working with the poem. 1. Read the first stanza and think. 1. Is McCavity a cat really? 2. If not, who can McCavity be? 2. Complete the following sentences. 1. A master criminal is one who dash. 2. The Scotland Yard is baffled because dash. 3. Dash because McCavity moves much faster than them. 3. A cat, I'm sure, could walk on a cloud without coming through. By Jules Verne. Which law is McCavity breaking in the light of the comment above? Page 52. 4. Read stanza 3 and then describe McCavity in 2 or 3 sentences of your own. 5. Say false or true for each of the following statements. 1. McCavity is not an ordinary cat. 2. McCavity cannot do what a fakir can easily do. 3. McCavity has supernatural powers. 4. McCavity is well-dressed, smart and bright. 5. McCavity is a spy, a trickster and a criminal all rolled in one. 6. Having read the poem, try to guess whether the poet is fond of cats. If so, why does he call McCavity a fiend and monster? 7. Has the poet used exaggeration for special effect? Find a few examples of it and read those lines aloud. Rick. What did Papa Firefly tell Mama Firefly? Hick. I don't know. Rick. Isn't our child bright for his age? Mary. Why isn't a nose 12 inches long? Joe. I don't know. Why? Mary. Because if it was 12 inches long, it would be a foot. Anita. I got 100 in school today. Mother. That's wonderful. What did you get 100 in? Anita. 40 in maths and 60 in English.
Honeydew. You were just listening to this audiobook.